psychosis and its effects. Just to give you some background information, psychosis is a severe mental illness that contains impaired thoughts or emotions. Symptoms include hallucinations, delusions, and other forms of mental illness. It also impairs social interaction and normal behavior. So basically, when a person goes through a psychotic episode, they experience delusions, which is believing a false reality. Hallucinations is seeing or hearing something that isn't true. And then also, your speech and behavior is difficult to understand and not appropriate. So my research question was, to what extent does psychosis affect a human being, and how does it affect the normal human functioning brain? I got my inspiration from The Looking Glass and how Alice reacts, because she shows symptoms of psychosis in many different instances. And there are many different ranges and instances which psychosis can affect a person. So this is a quote from The Looking Glass House, and it basically gives you an example of Alice's form of social interaction. Kitty, can you play chess? Now don't smile, my dear. I'm asking it seriously. Because when we were playing just now, you watched as if you understood it, and when I said check, you heard. So basically this shows an example of throughout the story that Alice only socially interacts with her kitten. And it seems the author is purposely not showing any sign of available human interaction. And this next quote introduces the passage, and I think it's interesting that the mother figure is a cat, as described. The way Dinah watched her children's faces was this. First, she held the poor thing down by its ear with one paw. So the kittens were referred to as her children, which means Dinah is also a cat. Which, again, the author refuses to add in another human for her to socially interact with. Alice also believes in the Looking Glass House, and she goes in the Looking Glass House and describes what she's seeing. So, this next quote here is pretty much explaining what a person is going through during a psychotic episode. The person experiencing psychosis may also have thoughts that are contrary to actual evidence. These thoughts are known as delusions. Some people with psychosis may also experience loss of motivation and social withdrawal. So basically, the only righteous explanation for Alice being able to see what's in the looking glass is she's going through a delusion and she believes something that is not real. So I have this diagram here, and it basically shows different parts of the brain and how psychosis affects each part. Right here, glutamate. Glutamate is a neurotransmitter or an amino acid, and it sends chemical messages to the brain. It is very vital in learning, but too much can be detrimental to the brain. Like this one here, glutamate defects lead to impaired response inhibition, which forms the basis for increased impulsivity and tendency to impulsive aggression. So during a psychotic episode, the inferior frontal cortex can possibly make them aggressive. The solution and limitations. My solution to this problem is to bring more awareness to mental illness and have more mental hospitals. I have this quote here, and it's basically just a statistic of how many people do with mental illness. So, 2015, NSDUH also found that 9.8 million adults, 4% of all adults, and 22.5% of adults with any mental illness had a serious mental illness. So basically, there's so many people who are not getting the help they need, but hospitals for 9.8 million people will not be cheap, and especially they need specialized psychologists to help in these hospitals. But I believe that if the government could fund some fundraisers and raise money for these hospitals, that would go over the limitation of the expense and give the people the life they deserve to live to their full potential.
Okay. Okay, Kate, if you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
I would probably go more into the environmental lens and do more research on how like the environment surrounding a person with psychosis affects them and how it could possibly force someone to develop any psychosis.
Okay, good.